Hey guys, we have a big and very active week of astrology playing out this week, and honestly, I feel like this is sort of the week that we've all been waiting for. Mercury re-enters Gemini this week, you guys. Things should start moving forward now. If you've been feeling stuck, if you've been feeling stagnant, if you've been feeling held back, if you've been needing to make an important choice or decision about something but just felt like you didn't know what to do, I feel like this may be the week that things start to change, things sort of clear up a little bit, and we have some inspiration, motivation, and understanding that allows us to begin moving forward. I feel like we're going to start making some progress in this energy this week towards our goals or towards whatever direction we're trying to move in at this point in time. We also have a very powerful full moon in Sagittarius going on this week, you guys, that should really be lighting a fire underneath us as well to start heading out and pursuing, taking action towards something in alignment with our personal truth in one way or another. And we have some very fated, destined alignments coming in this week as well. Venus ruling love, money, relationships, all that type of stuff is coming into an alignment with the North Node. This is some of those fated, destined relationship alignments or connections or interactions going on. And also I feel like it's going to be sort of reawakening or helping us to recognize some of the more latent creative talents and gifts that we hold within us and how we can tap and use these resources to sort of give our life an additional layer of material comfort or support in one way or another. I feel like we are reawakening to our gifts and talents in this energy as well. So you guys, let's get into the chart today. Let's see what we have playing out for Monday's energy as we open this big week that is moving us forward. And I feel like we are at like a tipping point and things should start being a little bit easier for the next couple of weeks for us. Let's get into the chart and see how all of this is playing out for us. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Monday, June 13th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your energetic astrological outlook for the day. If you guys stick with me till the end of the report, I'm also going to be talking about some tarot cards that came out in conjunction with the astrology that we have going on today, just to give us a bit of a more holistic energy interpretation of what we're dealing with to start our week this week. And like I said, I like this week, you guys. I feel like, especially being a Gemini ascendant myself, I feel like this is some energy that is going to be quite beneficial to our progress in one way or another. I feel like, like I said, if we have really been struggling with some choices, decisions, or just our mindset about things generally, I feel like things are going to sort of open up, clear up. I feel like we're going to be gaining just some insight that we need, or our perspective is going to be shifting in such a way that, we sort of have an epiphany, or we just suddenly understand what to do, or we gain, the sudden attitude or mindset shift or perspective or additional piece, like I said, of information, or, just whatever was missing, so that suddenly the answer is made like apparent and known to us. So I do feel like, we are moving forward this week in this energy. And specifically today, you guys, that's one of the main things that we have to talk about is Mercury re-entering the sign of Gemini. Mercury's home sign. This has been an interesting Mercury retrograde period. Mercury moved into Gemini. We're also in a Gemini cycle right now, which is ruled by Mercury. So this Mercury retrograde was perhaps, a bit more dominant and stronger in the field than a lot of Mercury retrogrades, just because we are in Mercury season. We are in Gemini season, and Mercury was in the sign of Gemini when he stationed retrograde and then backed up into Taurus. And Mercury backing up into Taurus, this is a sign about resources and values and potential and work and projects and creative ability. And, but generally, it boils down to values and what we value and resources and ability to use those resources to create and build something that can create and provide some type of material stability or comfort or just like something that allows us to have a sense of pleasure, like these Venus comfort, luxury, pleasure, like food as well, like these Venus qualities of life. So, with Mercury having backed from Gemini, an air sign all about the mind, thoughts, communication, into the sign of Taurus, all about value and resources and work ethic, essentially, but also wanting to relax and engage in pleasure and enjoy life and stuff like that. This, I felt like, was sort of a mental reconfiguration or a mental mental shift having a lot to do with our own perception of our own value, our own talents, our own resources, like what we hold inside of us, and the value that that represents also in terms of our self-worth and our self-love, and therefore what we are worthy of attracting and receiving externally as well. I've kind of felt like this Mercury retrograde process was having to do with restoring our own sense of inner value on a mental and cognitive level in some way or another, like truly helping us to gain a greater understanding of the truth of our own value based on these internal discoveries of that value and of those resources and of those potential, and what we can create with all of that as we are in this period of time right now where universe is calling us back into alignment with our authentic truth so that we can tap our resources and really achieve and activate our potential. This is like destiny activating energy that we're in right now in this 222 year. As you guys, we are transitioning ages, moving into the age of Aquarius, and in order for that process to work, it requires the human collective to be operating at a frequency that is resonating to our authentic purpose, like our true, like our highest potential, coming into our states of personal self-mastery. And in order for that process to happen, it makes sense that we would need this mindset shift at this point in time that is just so all-encompassing, considering we are in Gemini Mercury season as well, so it has such a strong influence. And, gaining this greater understanding of what we hold inside of us and what we can really do with that at this point in time to help break ourselves free from the external matrices of the past, which are simultaneous. By that I mean the external support systems and structures that maybe we have been reliant upon for a long period of time, but as we are transitioning ages right now and we have Pluto in the end of Capricorn, a lot of those things are breaking down, and universe is really calling us to become more resourceful and self-sustaining in and of ourselves. And in order to do that, we need to be aware of the potential and the resources that we hold inside and how we can use them to go through that process. So I feel like this has been quite a crucial Mercury retrograde, and it was also in a trine to Pluto, which it was about helping us to see under the surface of things, helping us to get to the root of the issue and gain an awareness of these deep underlying root issues of things that may have been keeping us in some type of mind loop or preventing us from seeing the truth in some type of a way. And Mercury was also and has been in a square to Saturn. And this is really about, this goes a multitude of different ways, but it has really been narrowing our perspective in a lot of ways, but also calling for some greater mastery over our own minds and over our own thoughts, and, learning how to be in greater control over our mind and over our thoughts, and not allowing these, more narrow-minded, limited viewpoints of things, or any limitations to our personal ability to express ourselves or to communicate or to move forward, to pull us into a negative vibration that hinders our progress. With Mercury in square to Saturn, I feel like the lesson throughout this Mercury retrograde period has been to really mature mentally and gain this sense of mastery and control over our own mind and over our own thoughts, so that we are not allowing circumstances that feel like they're limiting or hindering or holding us back in this moment to cause us, through our own mental vibration, to sabotage our own progress working towards our goals going forward, with Saturn being in Aquarius for this process as well. So we have been going through it in terms of our perspective, in terms of our mind, in terms of what we're figuring out, and then our ability to actually express that, or any frustrations that we've been dealing with as a result of feeling like we've been restricted or repressed in our ability to communicate what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're understanding, what we're gaining this awareness of, and any type of internal issues that may have been going on as a result of that sort of being reworked through this Mercury retrograde period. Also perhaps brought up some things from the past that maybe we had a little bit of a skewed vision or judgment on, or especially again in relation to our own self-worth and the things that we have been allowing and what we are no longer allowing at this point in time. Saturn also rules boundaries, like what limitations or boundaries are we setting now in terms of what we're allowing to impact the state of our mind and what we're thinking about and how our thoughts are going and the ideas that we have. I feel like we've been through this process as well, becoming more what's that word? Like when we are just like in and of ourselves, like we're becoming more self-reliant on our own thoughts and opinions and being less easily swayed by the thoughts and the opinions of others, which actually moving into this full moon that we have coming up tomorrow, I feel like is a beneficial tool, because actually the energy for the full moon is pretty positive in my opinion. However, there is like a little bit of, there's a square to Neptune going on as well in this energy. So, the sort of like trick of this full moon is not allowing external projections and other people's narratives to interfere with our own vibration. I feel like this Saturn Mercury retrograde square energy that we've been dealing with over this past several weeks has been sort of priming us for this experience that is coming, this week with a full moon. It's just sort of a lesson that we've been learning to, really ground into our own intuition and our own like moral compass and internal compass, and be less like at the whim of, narratives or projections or images that are being shown to us. Like we are learning to see the truth through illusion and deception as well, with the energy that has been going on in that Mercury trine Pluto. So that is, basically the way I'm seeing it, what we've been navigating in terms of this Mercury energy, this Gemini cycle. And remember, you guys, this energy also that we are in right now for this month of June, generally, if you guys watched my June overview that I did a couple weeks ago, I was talking about how this specific month, not the cycles in and of themselves, the new moon cycles, but when we break it down and just look at the month of June that we have right now, this is a very black moon dominant month. And so like on the outskirts of this mental energy that's going on that is actually pushing, like this Mercury retrograde period has been extremely transformative, not only because of, everything that I just mentioned, but also, that trine to Pluto. Mercury transforms our mind. Everything that we have been going through on this mental level over this past period of time has been pushing for this ultimate transformation that is back in alignment with our authentic truth and bringing us to a place of being, the master of our own mind, as I've been saying. But for this specific month as well, where we have these black moon shadow side issue themes so strong and so dominant as well, we may feel we're sort of going up and down and up and down. I feel like there's probably likely to be some very high highs coming over the course of the next week or so, but also like some low lows, because we really are processing and clearing collectively a lot of this black moon energy right now, which is sort of along the lines of what I was talking about with Mercury's retrograde process and this recognition of the value that we hold inside and the resources and the potential that represents. Because this black moon in Cancer, where black moon is right now, energy can bring up a lot of fears and insecurities about our ability to care for, nurture, provide for ourselves, and also, how we are receiving and giving nurturing, care, support, security, like externally as well, how we are receiving this support and care and love and nurturing from others, and how we are giving it, this sort of give and take. And I feel like it's also helping us to emotionally mature. And so this black moon energy, I feel like all month is sort of bringing up some issues of maybe like fear of like abandonment, or fear of lack, or fear of ability to take care of ourselves in one way, like financial insecurities, or if we can ever like make it on our own, or just fears around our ability to sort of go off in this new direction that all the energy is calling us to do right now. Will we have the support? Will we have the like appreciation? Like, will people see what we're doing and appreciate our contribution? Like, will there be support for us? Will there be anywhere for us to land when we go off in this new direction? And that, energy is calling us right now to really rebirth ourselves and recreate ourselves. And as we're moving into this full moon tomorrow as well, there's a big universal incentive right now to really make some choices and make some changes and head out in that direction. But there may be these fears coming up as well, if we are able to do it, and if we are going to be able to like have this soft landing when we're going on this new direction. So I do feel like highs and lows are also a theme that we may very much so be dealing with over the course of the next week. But the energy is generally looking pretty positive. And today, let's get back to Gemini re-entering the sign, or Mercury re-entering the sign of Gemini. The Mercury has, pretty much officially broken the square to Saturn. We are more than 4-degree orb distance separation. So this is opening things up. This is lifting restrictions. This is, sort of like loosening the boundaries a little bit that we may, the constraints that we may have been operating within in terms of our expression and our movement as well. And not only that, Mercury now in his home sign of Gemini. This puts 4 planets right now in their signs of rulership. We have Mercury re-entering Gemini in his home sign of Gemini. We have Venus in the sign of Taurus. We have Mars in the sign of Aries. And we have Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. Saturn is the ancient original ruler of Aquarius. And when there are planets in their home signs, this is a very strong, this is like pure and refined energy that these planets are manifesting and expressing. And when we have all of them, like this many planets doing that, it creates a very strong window for manifesting things that like are great, actually, that are just like fully operating in across like the archetypal board. Like the energy of these planets is very strong right now. And when this energy is very strong in combination like that, it has a tendency to be able to actually produce things and make them happen. And so, this is very strong because like Mars, like our energy body is pretty much full force right now. Venus, the heart energy and the ability to receive and create is full force right now. Mercury, the mind, and Gemini, very, very strong mental energy and ability to communicate and listen as well. And then Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, this is an ability to really form some things and structure some things and lay some foundations that can take us a long way into the future in a very, successful and reliable way. And so with all of these 4 planets operating now in their home signs, and also we're in this Gemini season. Mercury is in the sign of Gemini. The square between Saturn and Mercury is breaking. This is the time when we are moving forward. Things are starting to happen in a way that is solidifying a path forward. And, like I said, we also have Venus coming into a conjunction with the North Node this week, which is also like love and money, relationship, financial issues, like falling into the proper path that is like necessary at this point in time for our highest growth and development. And so these are divine alignments that are coming in as well. And we are in this 222 year, you guys, where all year this energy is trying to reconfigure our vibration in a way that allows us to attract and magnetize to ourselves those things that can bring us like our heart and soul's truest forms of fulfillment. And this Venus North Node activation coming in this week, I feel like is going to be playing a role in that as well. This is a week where some highly fated, destined, positive occurrences could be lining up for us. So forward movement today, you guys, progress, clarity, better mindset, much more positive and open-minded attitude, mental attitude. If we've been, feeling kind of pessimistic or dealing with also like any mental health issues over the past period of time, this should really start to clear up right now, and we should sort of be seeing things through a different lens. Very, very busy information day could be coming. Of course, Gemini, Mercury, news, messages, information, communication, things going back and forth, like transactions, movement, short trips, stuff like that. Could definitely be coming back into play. Also, like I said, options, decisions, choices. This is the time to choose. We have Saturn retrograde right now as well. When Mercury was in the square to Saturn, this was probably, making our choices and decisions sort of like a lot of conflicts and a lot of problems maybe about what we need to do next. But Saturn retrograde in the sign of Aquarius. This is some very karmic choices and decisions that are coming up right now that are very serious and have to do with the long term of our future. And now that the square is breaking, this pressure should be alleviating a little bit, and we should actually start to see the solution to our problem in one way or another. And, this energy specifically today should really be doing that for us. We have the moon also in Sagittarius today. Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, ruling the bigger picture, the overall view, like the bird's eye view. seeing things from a more elevated perspective, with the moon and Jupiter as well, and Mercury re-entering the sign of Gemini. And this is, remember, we have Jupiter in the sign of Aries right now. This is seeing the bigger picture about our own personal truth. Aries is the sign of, our personal everything, and like our personality and our ego as well. And so this is really seeing like the truth of ourselves, of who we are, and of what we want to, the direction that we want to move in going forward. What actions do we want to take? Our next course of action becoming much more clear to us in the energy as it is playing out today. And it's also interesting, you guys, because right now we have Jupiter at 6 degrees of Aries in the sky, and that Sabian symbol is a square brightly lighted on one side. And so I'm talking about this square that's been going on between Mercury and Saturn that may have had us in some type of like vice feeling about some decision that we needed to make, causing some type of conflict or problem for us. But this energy is moving away now, and Mercury is moving into Gemini, and the moon is in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter in Aries at this degree, a square brightly lighted on one side. I feel like also this specific Sabian symbol in the context of this energy is referencing solutions presenting themselves, essentially, like us seeing the light, like being able to point out the exact solution to our problem or what has been causing the problem so that we can alleviate it in some way. Recognizing the best choice or solution to overcome whatever problem we've been dealing with, I feel like is presenting itself to us in this energy today and in this week. We should also be feeling quite inspired to take action based on any of this information that is coming through. It's like, we have been going through it. We have been reevaluating, rethinking a lot of things, finding a lot of things out, learning a lot of things, changing our mind about a lot of things. And now we are sort of seeing the bigger picture. We are seeing the full tapestry of that which is unfolding. It's interesting that I just said that too, because we also have Mars today at 15 degrees of Aries and Indian weaving a blanket. So things are definitely, even like on our energy level, again, like getting woven together, like coming together. The pieces are coming together to form the overall vision image of what we want to move towards, work towards throughout the rest of the course of this year. With the moon and Jupiter as well, you guys, the moon, and it's not just that the moon in Sagittarius, not in Jupiter, that the moon in Sagittarius, it's not just that the moon is there, the moon is also going to be forming both a trine to Jupiter and Mars today. So this is a very fiery energy. Sagittarius is a fire sign in and of itself. When we have the moon there, we are definitely seeking freedom of expression, emotional expression, very high inspired, passionate, emotional energy. We may have a desire to sort of like get outside today, or like connect with nature, or just feel free and liberated in one way or another. Maybe like inspired to like go on a hike or just do something real outdoorsy today. That might be coming through. But with the moon in Sag forming the trine also to Jupiter, ruler of Sag, and also Mars and Aries, this is another fire sign again, this very inspired, passionate, fiery energy today. But we should be feeling very like almost over the top, positive, inspired, optimistic. And again, like seeing and understanding the truth of things and having a desire to act, having a desire to make that choice, make that decision, feeling like we are like empowered also at this point in time to be able to go ahead and do that, to take some type of action, to assert ourselves in some type of a way. Might be coming through today. Very big energy and emotional day though as well. Emotional energy very, very high today. Although again, it's more this passionate and inspired emotional energy. It's not sort of like the like really like deep like Scorpio type emotional energy. This is Sagittarius emotional energy, but we are building into a full moon tomorrow, which, full moons, this is when we have the biggest, most expansive energy of the month. And Jupiter, Sagittarius, this is a sign of expansion. So this is, and the moon rules our emotions and our feelings. So we are likely to be feeling very, very, very much in some type of a way, but I'm feeling like it's probably going to be feeling very, very, very much passionate and inspired about pursuing our truth and having the freedom to go in a new direction in one way or another. Big energy, big emotions. Again, this is very great energy for creation, manifestation, Absolutely, especially with Venus in the moving into conjunction with the North Node as well, and 4 planets, like I said earlier, in their home sign, and the moon in Sag, forming the trine to Mars and Jupiter in the sign of Aries. This is a very strong, powerful energy to really begin creating something or making a choice or moving forward, or, setting our mind on something and taking off, getting ready, preparing to take off in that direction. These are the type of things that I feel like are sort of coming up for us and coming at us in the energy as it is playing out today, building into our full moon tomorrow and moving towards what else we have coming at us this week. We also have Venus coming into a conjunction with the North Node in Taurus. As I said, very much divine alignments all week long. This is not exact today, but it is definitely building, and it is there. Venus is right in between Uranus, the great awakener, the great rectifier right now, and also this North Node in Taurus, the destiny point, our next phase of growth, our next lesson plan, where the collective blueprint is pulling us towards. And again, divine alignments, and also I feel like this energy is helping to awaken these latent talents and creative abilities and potentials within us that we can tap as resources right now to move us forward. This North Node in Taurus energy, just like this Mercury retrograde in Taurus energy, I really feel like has been very much about us regaining or recognizing or gaining an awareness to the creative potential that we hold within us and what we can do with it, how we can tap it to help us detach ourselves from the matrix of the past in one way or another, as we are in this 222 year and transitioning paradigms right now, and the matrices, like I said, of the past in the age of Pisces paradigm are beginning to crumble and fall away. We need to become more resourceful and more self-reliant, and we do that through looking inwards at what we hold inside and our own resources and ability to use those things to help us navigate externally. The only thing, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, that we sort of got to watch out for right now is the sun is actually coming into a conjunction with Neptune. This is also not exact, but this could bring up a bit of avoidant or delusional or discouraged or low energy vibes going on, but I feel like this is not coming from us. Honestly, like I feel like this is a possibility in the energy right now as well. Of course, it's being indicated in the chart, but with the moon and Sag, you guys, making these aspects and all these planets in their home sign, Mercury and Jupiter and Mars and Aries and all this that we have going on, I feel like any of this like avoidant or delusional or low energy or discouraged or more negative outlook that we might have going on right now is generally going to be coming from external sources and not coming from like our own personal feelings in this time. I feel like, for example, like the news and the media and images and projections and narratives that are being represented there and projecting outwards, I feel like if we are attaching too much to these things, that this is the type of stuff that can bring us down and that can interfere with our personal vibration and sort of cause us to sabotage whatever we have going on in one way or another. External negative projections possibly altering our mindset and our personal vibration, despite the more positive energy that we really do have going on this internal emotional level. External information sources throwing off or confusing or lowering our personal vibration. So you guys, like I honestly feel like this is a good week to sort of detach to whatever we're seeing on the screens or the headlines or the projections, and to really like recenter in on our own personal vibration and what we have going on personally, and not allow the state of things being projected to us to really allow us to alter our personal enthusiasm and optimism about our potential for the future at this point in time. So that as well, I feel like is something that we could be dealing with, getting lost in our own minds sort of and feeling like our judgment is clouded. Like if there's too many external factors interfering with our ability to connect to ourselves with Jupiter into Mars and Aries right now, I feel like this is sort of where this Neptune sun energy could sort of like trip us up a little bit. And we really, like I said, this week, I feel like it's very important to be following our inner calling, our inner compass for guidance, as problems I feel like are more so likely to arise when we allow ourselves to be influenced by these external narratives or projections. So that is sort of, generally how I'm feeling about what we may have transpiring over the course of today and also moving into this week. I want to talk for a minute about the Sabian symbols that are presenting for Monday's chart as well. It's interesting because I talked a lot about like the bird's eye view and the overall picture and, really gaining this higher level of understanding of our personal truth that is inspiring us and motivating us to act and helping us to see solutions and stuff like that. And we have the sun today at 23 degrees of Gemini. That Sabian symbol is 3 fledglings in a nest high in a tree. And so that right there is talking again about, being like they're these like fresh birds, they're young birds, they're having a new perspective on stuff. They have a new mindset. We've been going through this rebirth process, but they also are looking at things from an elevated standpoint. They have a higher perspective and they haven't quite learned to fly yet, but they are gaining a lot of knowledge and wisdom through observation and through just being able to see from this higher perspective. And I feel like that is also sort of where we're at right now in this energy. Like we are coming to a point where we are getting ready to spread our wings and fly. But right now we are coming out of some very intensive, perhaps, learning processes that we've been going in. And we are finally being able to see with clarity the overall perspective so that we can go ahead and decide to jump once we feel like we have all of our ducks or little birdies or fledglings in a row. We also have the Earth today at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. That Sabian symbol is immigrants entering a new country. So, for me, I'm sort of translating this. I'm reading this sort of as the collective of humanity sort of bridging into the age of Aquarius and adapting and, preparing to really step into these new frequencies that this year has been pulling us towards, and that we have been, that's been sort of recalibrating a lot of different things in our lives. Also, this new country is sort of this new version of ourselves and this new reality and this new life and this new embodiment of ourselves and our own vibration and our personal truth. So I feel like this is generally talking about these shifts, these changes that are going on for us collectively as we are redoing ourselves, remaking ourselves, recreating ourselves, and preparing to start embodying that experience, that living in that new country in our tangible lives. We have Mercury re-entering Gemini today, 1 degree of Gemini. A glass bottom boat reveals undersea wonders and panoramas. Again, we are seeing the truth. We are seeing under the surface of things very clearly. We are seeing the whole picture, the whole panorama. We have Venus today at 19 Taurus. A new continent is rising out of the ocean. So we have a new country and we have a new continent. Same thing as what I was saying pretty much about the position of the Earth. Like we are recreating our reality based on this recognition of these resources within us and this value within us and the way that changes our own relationship to ourself and our self-worth, and therefore what we can attract and manifest physically, tangibly in our lives. And it just changes the entire nature of the circumstances we find ourselves in, which is the galactic push right now as we are transitioning ages. So a new continent rising out of the ocean today as well, and then we have the glass boat reveals undersea wonders. So it's like based on these truths, these revelations, these panoramas, what we're discovering. It's really changing things, this mental transformation, this realignment with the truth of our value that is rebirthing us into a new country, a new continent. So we're stepping into and embodying that. I've already said Mars, 15 Aries, and Indian weaving a blanket. Again, things coming together, things being woven together to bring this tapestry into being. This is also to me sort of talking about the threads of time sort of weaving together and fate and destiny with this Venus North Node conjunction this week and things coming into proper alignment as well. And then again, the position of Jupiter today, a square brightly lighted on one side. Squares bring conflict, tension, issues that we have to navigate, but it's brightly lighted on one side, you guys. So we are seeing the solution. We're seeing the way out. We are seeing like the light bulb is going off, like we're figuring it out. We know the direction to go. We can point to the answer of how to alleviate our challenge, alleviate our difficulty. So I feel like this is a very positive and uplifting way to start our week this week. The Sabian symbols are all in like perfect congruency with the energy that is being disseminated by the planets, the vibes that we have generally going on right now. And so that's basically what I have to say today, you guys, for our energy, for the astrology. Let's talk about the tarot now for a brief minute. I got a couple of cards coming out of the deck this morning. 2 cards when I was shuffling the deck, and then we have some on the back of the deck that we're going to be talking about as well. The first card that came out today, you guys, was the 8 of Swords, followed by the Chariot. And then on the back of the deck, we actually had the Queen of Cups with the Star under that. So this is what we're working with today. Now, it's really interesting to me because the 8 of Swords and the Chariot, like these could not be like more polarized energies. Like if you look at this 8 of Swords, she's literally completely bound and blindfolded. Like she can't move forward. She's totally stuck and she can't even see where she's going. Yet she's got all of these swords around her. She could easily pick one up and cut through those ties and change her situation. And this is the swords. This is the mind. This is mental energy, right? So I feel like, and then when we talk about the Chariot, this is basically essentially the polar opposition to that. This guy is fully empowered, fully in his personal power and strength and control. He can use his own willpower, incentive, motivation to move this Chariot forward in a forward direction, in control, you know, of these 2 powerful creatures that are pulling him towards his destination. This is like the ultimate in being able to move forward in a very self-empowered, self-directed way. And this card is talking about being held back, being bound, being prevented from making any type of forward progress or forward movement based largely on our own thoughts, on our own ideas, on our own perceptions that we are blind to, and that, you know, if we would just shift or change or grab, we could slice through these this bondage and move ourselves forward. So I feel like this is sort of talking about like where we've been and where we're going to now. Like we are transitioning from an energy where we have just been very limited, most likely based on our own self-limiting thoughts and beliefs that have been keeping us blind to our strength and our willpower and our talents, potential, ability, everything that we might need to move ourselves forward. And we are coming to a point where we are feeling very personally self-empowered with this incentive and motivation and will and courage and strength within us to move forward. And it's also interesting because the Chariot represents Cancer, I do believe, and we are moving into the Cancer cycle this month, and the summer solstice is also coming up, this Cancer energy. So it's like we're moving out of this negative mental energy, and the closer we get to the Cancer season, to the summer solstice, to this influx of Cancer energy, I feel like the more we are going to be in our own power, controlling our own outcomes and dominating our own direction. And then with the Queen of Cups and the Star on the back of the deck, this is having a lot to do with our ability to, again, like give and receive love and be in control of our own emotions, and also regain this faith and this trust and this inspiration and this hope for the future that is sort of healing us on like a more heart-based emotional level as well. So, you know, really like what it all boils down to, I feel like when we put all of these cards together, is sort of, I feel like right now, this week and moving forward, we are psychologically freeing ourselves to move forward, and we are opening to receive healing and hope for the future and what is to come through aligning with this emotional truth, through aligning and being able to receive the things that really bring us a sense of genuine fulfillment, like having a restored hope and faith that we actually can receive what we would perceive personally in terms of like our soul level as being like true abundance, true fulfillment. So I definitely feel like, you guys, this message is talking about us coming to a place where we are transitioning from sort of being limited and restricted based on our perspective and viewpoint of things, moving to a place of really very self-determined energy. And again, like this is the Queen of Cups. This to me is referring to this Cancer energy as well. I feel like as we move towards the solstice, as we move towards Cancer season, we are going to be very much liberated, and our progress is really going to start moving forward, and it's going to be also bringing a very restored sense of faith, trust, hope in God, in universe, and in ourselves and our potential and talent as well. So that's what we have coming through, you guys, in terms of the tarot cards that came out in conjunction with the energy as well. Now let's draw one more card. We are going to draw a synchronicity card for us today. These are really beautiful cards. They're by Janice Shellman, and they just give us a little one additional like bit of information that we can use to help us navigate the energy as it is presenting for us right now. So let's see if one wants to come out. There we go. It went flying. Wow, this is funny. I've actually never drawn this card before, but I love what it says on it in the context of the energy this week as well, you guys. It says, God's the boss. Such a good message. Who then is that faithful and wise steward? Luke 12:42. You must do your job joyously and faithfully in the knowledge that God is your boss. Your subconscious will then respond and promote you and remove obstacles to your success. Have a constructive vision. Be faithful to your vision. Show respect for authority, and you will be prospered along all lines. So that is, again, reminding me of the Star card and this renewed faith, trust, hope, optimism that is coming this week. And yes, you guys, this is saying God's the boss. We also have a North Node activation going on this week, fated alignments, things falling into place. We just need to keep in mind that God is in charge and that things are happening for our highest and our best at this point in time, you guys. So that is what I have to say for the energy that is playing out today. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something of value to you to help you navigate today or the energy upcoming this week. If you guys did like it, please give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends if you think that they would like this too. Leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I love your feedback. I really love hearing what you have to say. Thank you so much for being here. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff in my description box below. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We have a full moon going on. Again, this is a very big full moon in the sign of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion. So we could have some very high emotional energy going on tomorrow, and we're gonna have a lot more to talk about in the chart. So I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it, and I will see you then. Have a beautiful day, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.